This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, I am Paige Cargioli, and I'm here with Stephen. My business is Open Heart Holistic Therapy, and I am an emotional polarity technique practitioner. EPT is a totally different approach in emotional health care. Instead of relying on regular talk therapy or traditional medication, EPT relies on the science of forgiveness to help you feel better faster. We help people feel better faster with whatever they're going through. And we resolve these unresolved conflicts from the past so that we can make better choices now and be more adults. It's great. Stephen, is it okay if we record this session and post it on the internet?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Stephen, you've had EPT before, right?
Yes.
All right, cool.
I've also done some training in how to do it.
Oh, you have? Cool.
Yeah.
When was that?
It's been years ago. Diana Morton taught me how to do it.
Oh my. That's beyond my time, I think.
Yeah, we're talking like 25 years ago, so you might have been like 4.
I wasn't that. That's 10.
Okay.
All right. So in EPT, normally we would prefer doing EPT in person. It's about, 80% the same, I think, when you're over video. It's just when you have the person there, the energy is a little bit different. I can actually put my hands on you and stuff like that. So we're doing these videos just so people can kind of see what EPT is about and also maybe even get the benefit of a session, even though it's not them who are doing the session. So,
Right.
I like how it's just sort of like anybody, and also anybody who watches this in the future they're gonna be like cheering you on, right? So yeah,
Let's hope so. Unless it's the person we're going to talk about, and then they might be drinking.
all right. So what is it that you want to work on today?
Well, I have been. Well, it's okay. Most recently, it's been very difficult to get my mother to come and see me. It's like pulling hen's teeth.
Okay.
And her normal response is, "I want to come see you, but I can't." And I finally told her that that hurts my feelings, and I would rather her just say, you know, "I'm busy right now. I can do it on such and such day." But I think there's an issue there that needs to be resolved.
Okay.
And then we'll go on from there if we can.
How often do you normally like see her, or did you see her?
Well, we have never been as close as I would like to be,
Hmm.
but it's basically just holidays.
Oh, okay.
And pretty much, if I'm lucky, every couple years on my birthday.
And is she close by?
She lives in Franklin, which is a couple hours south of where I live.
Okay. So she lives in Franklin. And do you have other siblings, or like is
Yeah,
it just, huh?
yeah. I
Are
have
they
2 sisters and a brother. The
okay?
brother lives in Illinois. The sisters are in Franklin. Um, my older sister, she went to China for a year and a half, and my parents went to see her. My younger sister, the first time she was married, she moved to Hawaii, and they went to Hawaii twice to see her. And they go to see my brother in Illinois um, a couple, 3 times a year, but they don't come see me. And
Mm.
when they do,
So
and when they do want to get together, I have to go to them. And I'm disabled, so it's a lot more work for me to get to them than it is the other way around.
so there's also like a sense of maybe feeling left out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll work with that. So do you have magnets?
Um, no,
That's okay.
but if you tell me what to tune into and where the magnet should be, I can probably do that because I'm an energy worker too.
Perfect. So, it's basically north side. You can use your hands on your head.
Okay.
And then what we're going to do is breathe 3 times together. So breathe in, breathe out,
Let me put
breathe
this
in.
down
Oh,
Let me-
yeah.
so I can put my hands on my head.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and breathe in, breathe out. And then you put a finger, if you can, in the middle of or like on the bridge of your nose, and then one on the on like the base of your skull, and we do it again. So breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe in, breathe out. All right, and you can take your hands down. For anybody who's watching, I muscle test. If Steven was here, I would use his body for muscle testing, but I'm going to use my body for muscle testing. This is how I do it, looking for a strong and weak. So
Yep.
just think about your relationship with your mom. All right. And I'm just looking for the distress. So about how distressed do you feel on a scale of 1 to 10?
Okay.
It comes up for me at about a 7, so that's pretty distressed.
Yeah. There are other incidents I could explain, but that may not be necessary.
Okay. All right. And then I check to see if there's like an elation. Let's see. Nope, no elation. That's okay. Elation is just to see if you're like addicted to a bad feeling. So we don't have that. But it might also be, huh?
That's good to know.
I mean, it could also be you feel no elation. No, that's not true. I was like, is it you have no elation with your relationship with your mom? But that's not it. So that's okay.
Okay.
All right. Stage of healing is anger. So I have a little card. So the stages of healing are denial, anger, bargain, depression, acceptance, light emerging, and creation of new life. And anger is, the words on the card that I have right here. It's
Right.
I hate this. Why me? So.
Yeah, well, we could do that
Okay.
for on my disability, but we won't go there.
Well, I mean, yeah. So okay. So show up is weak. So I test to also see what blocks to healing there might be. I usually tell clients, like, if you're not able to show up, pay attention, tell the truth, or let go. It's a lot harder to heal.
Right.
And it might also be like your mom doesn't want to show up, or there's something there. There's something blocking. That just helps me make statements.
Okay.
Let's see. One issue. Let's see. Now we're doing the who. I have the who and the what. So I have my little charts here up off to the side that I'm looking at.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, mom. Okay, so you've already said it's mom, so we're there. I feel my anger with mom. Okay. My anger with mom because when I test that she's not visiting me, it doesn't necessarily show up. But if I say like I'm left out, like I'm angry with mom because I'm left out, that test weak.
Okay. Is test week good or bad?
That's the issue. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
That's the yes.
Okay, that's the yes. All right.
That's the yes. So I feel my anger with mom because I'm left out. Yeah. Okay.
Come up as abandoned. I'm surprised it didn't come up as abandoned.
Yeah. Well, at least not yet.
That's what those other incidents are for.
Well, and I think it's, it doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know. Yeah, so it's more angry because it's like not fair.
Right.
Okay. All right. So let's see what the original situation is. Okay. So it's in utero.
Okay.
Have you ever done any EPT in utero?
I don't remember for sure,
Okay.
but we'll hang
So
out there. What happens?
what in birth order, what number are you?
Um, First and only, but my my parents divorced and remarried when I was very young, so I'm technically the oldest of six.
Oh, okay, but you're okay. When do they separate?
They got divorced when I was four, and they were both remarried by the time I was six.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works with mom's anger with dad, your dad, when you're in utero.
Okay.
I mean, and I don't know what's going on then, or if you know anything that was happening when you were in utero, but it works to say just like he's not connecting with me
Yeah.
or caring for me.
Right. Well,
That would work.
he was a drill sergeant in the army, so he was probably gone a lot. And I don't know when he started cheating on my mom, so that might be there too.
Okay. So it might also be your mom's sort of disconnect from you is really her disconnect from your dad.
Okay. Well, I can tell you that after I was born, they told my mom that I would probably be dead by morning, so not to get my hopes up or her hopes up, and that because I was 2 months premature,
Oh
and
wow.
they also gave her a shot to dry up her breast milk, so we never got to bond in that way.
Oh my goodness. And did she know anything when you were in utero, or was it like no, right? No, everything was fine.
Everything was fine until the
Birth.
process of being born,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
the umbilical cord was wrapped around my neck, and the placenta was in front of me instead of behind me, and it almost killed us both.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
Okay.
so much for, and I wish I'd known I could sue before I was too old because I was born in an army hospital.
Yeah. But it's interesting because like what's coming up is before all that trauma is just mom's angry at dad and
Okay.
he's not connecting the way she wants. Um and he's not caring for her. So it might also be some expectation in her mind that it's your job, but she's putting it on you as sort of the surrogate for your dad
Okay.
at the time. And there's a holdover now. So, okay.
Right.
All right. So next we'll put, you put a hand on your liver and a hand on your forehead.
Okay, I'm gonna have to put the phone down again. I just wanted the video to be halfway decent.
No, you're good. No, it's
Okay.
great.
Liver, right side or left side?
Right side.
Right
Liver's
side.
right side. Yep, you got it. All right, and then it's I feel my mom's anger with my dad when I'm in utero because my dad isn't connecting and isn't caring for her. So breathe in. Yeah. Breathe in. Yeah. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right, you can take your hands down. And do you know it was? I mean, except that you were born premature, and I guess the placenta would have been in a strange place, but that wouldn't have necessarily made a difference for your growth, right?
Right. Right.
Okay. All right. So.
Wow, that one made me a little dizzy, so that must have done something.
Yeah. Perfect. We're moving things. Are you your mom's first and only child?
With my biological father, yes.
Oh, okay. But she had other kids after you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's see if there's other emotions. Yes. And then it's also your mom. So in utero still, it's mom's depression.
Okay.
So mom's depression with herself.
Okay.
Were you a surprise to your parents?
I don't know.
Okay.
My grandmother was concerned that people would think that I was conceived out of wedlock,
So that's how. Okay.
but that was because I was premature. But she was assuming that because I was premature, that it was because I was premature, that was a lie to cover that I was conceived out of wedlock.
But it was fat. It was clearly a quick pregnancy.
Apparently, yeah.
Okay. So okay. Well, and I'm just wondering if maybe. Well, and I'm like wondering, was this sort of like a forced sort of marriage? Like how like everything seems like it was fast. You know?
It could very well have been. My mom was 19 when I was born. My dad was 21. She could have just been trying to get married to get away from my grandparents. I really don't know.
Okay. So it could just be like she's having her first child and she's with a guy she doesn't like, and it's just like, why am I in this situation? Like that's
Yeah.
the depression.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I get the sense like maybe it was a surprise or a little. It was all just very fast.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me. That's okay. It makes me want to laugh, so that's probably right. Because my two ways of knowing something is right is either I want to laugh or I want to cry.
Okay. Well, and even just you knowing like that your grandma was concerned about people knowing, like,
Yeah.
is sort of a little indicative of like clearly the situation people were already judging somehow.
Right. Yeah.
And your appearance isn't helping.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so same thing. Hand on your liver. And a hand on your forehead, and it's your mom's depression with herself because she doesn't want to be in this situation.
Okay.
So breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. All right, put your hands down.
Okay. Dizzy guy again. All right.
Those breaths. All right, let's see.
It's like I tell my chiropractor after an adjustment, it's a braingasm. That's what happens.
I love those. All right, so I was also checking to see if there's a trauma response. It says P2 trauma. Again, I don't know if the pregnancy that your mom had was easy, hard, if it's just, but it seems like I'm assuming she assumed everything was fine until you were premature.
Right. Yeah.
But she didn't have to worry about the pregnancy, but she was worried about your dad, and she didn't like that. So,
Okay.
and you probably in her mind just solidified her relationship or her situation where she couldn't change anything.
I'm stuck with the consequences of a bad choice. Unfortunately, it's a baby. And
So,
it's a baby. Yay!
aw. Okay, so there's a couple ways you can say statements. You can tap the top of your head while we say statements, or you can just do one side at a time if you want. And then you can also hold the fear release points right here.
Okay.
I've got my little qigong machine here, so for me, so we can all be supported energetically and emotionally and spiritually. And we will. I'm like, I also have my magnets too, so putting them down on the floor.
Well, hanging on to the fear points feels really good. So.
Good. Go with that. I'll do some tapping while we say some statements.
Okay.
My
big hands, maybe I can tap at the same time.
I like tapping. It's just my arms get tired. I want somebody else to tap my head. Okay, so all right, just gotta repeat after me. I'm like looking. I've got my cards down here and everything. So.
Okay.
I forgive myself for believing.
I forgive myself for believing.
I have to hold on to my mom's anger and depression.
I have to hold on to my mom's anger and depression.
When I'm in utero.
When I'm in utero.
Because she doesn't want to be in the situation.
Because she doesn't want to be in the situation.
Yeah, breathe. I forgive myself for believing.
I forgive myself for believing.
It's my fault.
It's my fault.
My mom is depressed and angry.
My mom is depressed and angry.
And doesn't want to connect or care for me.
And doesn't want to connect or care for me.
Yeah, breathe. I forgive myself for believing.
I forgive myself for believing.
It was my fault.
It was my fault.
When I was in utero.
When I was in utero.
And my mom was angry and depressed.
And my mom was angry and depressed.
Yeah, breathe. I forgive my mom.
I forgive my mom.
For feeling angry and depressed.
For feeling angry and depressed.
Now.
When
she's visiting me.
When she's visiting me.
Because it reminds her of her dad, or it reminds her of my dad.
Because it reminds her of my dad.
In a situation she didn't want to be in.
And the situation she didn't want to be in.
Yeah, breathe.
Yeah. That one tasted bad.
It does. I forgive myself for believing.
I forgive myself for believing.
My mom's anger and depression can't change.
My mom's anger and depression can't change.
Until my dad shows up.
Until my dad shows up.
To care for her.
To care for her.
And to connect with us.
And to connect with us.
And breathe. I forgive my mom.
I forgive my mom. You're right about the arms getting tired thing.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to be like this, like with the elbow down. You start to learn all the tricks, you know.
I'll just bang the top of my head with one arm, one hand. Monkey.
Yeah, it's like
pat and rub.
Okay. I forgive myself for believing.
I forgive myself for believing.
I have to take the place of my dad.
I have to take the place of my dad.
And connect with my mom.
and connect with my mom
in a situation she doesn't want to be
in a situation she doesn't want to be in
to feel love.
to feel love.
And breathe.
Gosh.
I forgive my mom
I forgive my mom
for blaming me
for blaming me
for her anger and depression with my dad
for her anger and depression with my dad
when she shows up.
when she shows up.
Yeah, and breathe. I forgive my mom
I forgive my mom
for not showing up for me
for not showing up for me
because my dad wasn't there for her.
because my dad wasn't there for her.
And breathe. I forgive my mom
I forgive my mom
for hurting my feelings
for hurting my feelings
when I was in utero
when I was in utero
because she couldn't be happy
because she couldn't be happy
with the situation
with the situation
without my dad.
without my dad.
And breathe. I
Ugh.
forgive my mom
I forgive my mom
for being depressed
for being depressed
because she got pregnant with me
because she got pregnant with me
and now she has to live with it.
and now she has to live with it.
And breathe.
She should be happy I want to move to Ohio. Then she doesn't have to see me. I'm sorry, Mom.
Well,
And I'm sorry, Jesus.
well, and I think it's just I know this is gonna help a lot for sure because it's just that she, for some reason, she still like connects you and your dad, and there's it's like a mesh somehow.
Yeah.
And so how about I give my mom permission to forgive me
I give my mom permission to forgive me
when I blame her
when I blame her
for when I'm left out
for when I'm left out
and feel angry and depressed.
and feel angry and depressed.
And breathe. I forgive myself for believing
I forgive myself for believing
no one wants to be in a situation with me,
no one wants to be in a situation with me,
not even my mom.
not even my mom.
And breathe.
Boy, I love it when they taste like you're gonna throw up.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna scare people off, right?
How about I forgive myself for believing
I forgive myself for believing
I can't love my dad
I can't love my dad
because it'll upset my mom
because it'll upset my mom
and she won't want to connect with me.
and she won't want to connect with me.
Yeah, and breathe. I forgive myself for believing
I forgive myself for believing
if I connect with my dad,
if I connect with my dad,
that'll leave my mom out.
that'll leave my mom out.
Yeah, and breathe. And then she'll be more depressed.
Then she'll be more depressed.
Breathe. I love and accept myself
I love and accept myself
even when I'm afraid.
even when I'm afraid.
My mom's gonna leave me out
My mom's gonna leave me out
because of my dad.
because of my dad.
And breathe. I forgive my mom
I forgive my mom
for blaming my dad
for blaming my dad
for why she can't visit me.
for why she can't visit me.
And breathe. I love and accept myself,
I love and accept myself,
even when I'm afraid.
even when I'm afraid.
Connecting with my mom
Of connecting with my mom
will leave someone else out.
will leave someone else out.
And breathe. I love and accept myself,
I love and accept myself,
even when I'm afraid.
even when I'm afraid.
My mom will be angry and depressed,
My mom will be angry and depressed,
visiting me,
visiting me,
because it reminds her of my dad
because it reminds her of my dad
and an uncomfortable situation
and an uncomfortable situation
from when I was in utero.
from when I was in utero.
Yeah. I forgive myself for believing
I forgive myself for believing
I can't feel love, forgiveness, and
I can't feel love, forgiveness, and what?
happiness,
Happiness.
and safe, secure, and complete
And safe, secure, and complete
with my mom
with my mom
in a situation
in a situation
she doesn't want to be in.
she doesn't want to be in.
Yeah, I'm breathing. I give my mom permission
I give my mom permission
to show up
to show
with
up
me,
with me,
even if it's uncomfortable.
even if it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm breathing. I give my mom permission
I give my mom permission
to show up
to show up
and connect with me,
and connect with me,
all of me,
all of me,
even the parts that remind her of my dad,
even the parts that remind her of my dad,
and still feel
and still feel
love, forgiveness, and happiness.
love, forgiveness, and happiness.
Yeah. I give myself permission
I give myself permission
to show up for my mom
to show up for my mom
and connect,
and connect,
even when it's uncomfortable,
even when it's uncomfortable,
and still feel love, forgiveness, and happiness.
and still feel love, forgiveness, and happiness.
Safe, secure, and complete.
Safe, secure, and complete.
And breathe. I love and accept myself,
I love and accept myself,
even when I'm afraid.
even when I'm afraid.
I'll be forced into a situation
I'll be forced into a situation
I don't want to be in.
I don't want to be in.
Yeah, and breathe. I love and accept myself,
I love and accept myself,
even when I'm afraid.
even when I'm afraid.
I'll be left out.
I'll be left out.
Yeah, breathe. I love and accept myself,
I love and accept myself,
even when I'm afraid.
even when I'm afraid.
My mom will just stop visiting me.
My mom will just stop visiting me.
Yeah, breathe. I love and accept myself,
I love and accept myself,
even when I'm afraid.
even when I'm afraid.
I'm too difficult to visit.
I'm too difficult to visit.
Yeah, breathe. I forgive myself for believing.
I forgive myself for believing.
I'm too difficult to visit,
I'm too difficult to visit.
and it just makes my mom feel bad.
And it just makes my mom feel bad.
Yeah.
Or live with, by the way. Throw that one in there too.
Not even, but yeah, just be with, right?
Yeah.
I forgive myself for believing.
I forgive myself for believing.
I I have to reject the parts of my dad
I have to reject the parts of my dad
that are difficult to live with.
that are difficult to live with.
Yeah, and breathe. I give myself permission
I give myself permission
to accept
to accept
and to love
and to love
all the parts of myself
all the parts of myself
from my mom and my dad,
from my mom and my dad,
and feel love
and feel love
and safe, secure, and complete.
and safe, secure, and complete.
Yeah, and breathe. I give myself permission
I give myself permission
to accept myself
to accept myself
and to love myself,
and to love myself,
even when it's difficult.
even when it's difficult.
Because, because, and breathe. I give myself permission to accept.
For any reason, I
Yeah.
give myself permission to accept.
I've always been worthy.
I've always been worthy.
And God's love has always been there for me.
And God's love has always been there for me.
Even when my mom wasn't there.
Even when my mom wasn't there.
Or my dad disconnected.
Or my dad disconnected.
Yeah, and breathe. Without this pattern, my mom is free.
Say that again.
Without this pattern, my mom is free.
My mom is free.
To connect with all of me.
To connect with all of me.
And feel happy.
And feel happy.
And gratitude.
And gratitude.
For our relationship.
For our relationship.
Even if it started out as a hard situation.
Even if it started out as a hard situation.
It's way easier now.
It's way easier now.
Than it was when I was little.
Than it was when I was little.
Or when she was with my dad.
Or when she was with my dad.
Yeah, and breathe. Without this pattern, my mom is free.
Without this pattern, my mom is free.
To show up.
To show up.
And be grateful.
And be grateful.
For us and our relationship.
For us and our relationship.
And our family.
And our family.
And how far we've come.
And how far we've come.
By the grace of God.
By the grace of God.
Yeah, and breathe. I give myself permission.
I give myself permission.
To let go of all the anger and depression my mom had.
To let go of all the anger and depression my mom had.
While I was in utero.
While I was in utero.
From my body, mind, and spirit.
From my body, mind, and spirit.
To God's love and mercy.
To God's love and mercy.
Yeah, breathe.
We keep like this. I'm gonna wish I called into Domino's today too.
Are you working later?
Yeah. At least I'll be good food when I get to work.
Let's see here. Without my mom's anger, without this anger with my mom.
Without this anger with my mom.
I am free.
I am free.
To feel love, forgiveness, and happiness.
To feel love, forgiveness, and happiness.
When she's with me.
When she's with me.
Or not.
Or not.
Yeah, right. Without this anger, I'm free.
Without this anger, I am free.
To love myself more.
To love myself more.
And to connect with my family.
And to connect with my family.
On a deeper level.
On a deeper level.
Yeah, breathe. Without this pattern, I am free.
Without this pattern, I am free.
To feel love, forgiveness, and happiness.
To feel love, forgiveness, and happiness.
Showing up for my mom.
Showing up for my mom.
And letting her show up for me.
And letting her show up for me.
So that we can grow in our relationship.
So that we can grow in our relationship.
Instead of be reminded of the pain from the past.
Instead of being reminded of the pain from the past.
Yeah, I'm breathing. That's nice.
Yeah.
Without this pattern, I am free.
Without this pattern, I am free.
To show up for myself.
To show up for myself.
And love myself more.
And love myself more.
Even if somebody doesn't like being around
me. Even if somebody doesn't like being around me.
Or they have some issue that I bring up.
Or they have some issue that I bring up.
Like with my mom and dad.
Like with my mom and dad.
Yeah, great. I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
Even when I'm afraid.
Even when I'm afraid.
I'll be alone.
I'll be alone.
Yeah, I'm breathing. I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
Even when I'm afraid.
Even when I'm afraid.
Someone will slowly disconnect from me.
Someone will slowly disconnect from me.
Like with my mom and dad.
Like with my mom and dad.
Yeah, I'm breathing. I give myself permission.
I give myself permission.
To let go of the past or future.
To let go of the past and future.
That didn't exist.
That didn't exist.
Where my mom and dad had a better relationship.
Where my mom and dad had a better relationship.
And it wasn't so hard.
And it wasn't so hard.
Yeah, I'm breathing. I give myself permission to accept.
I give myself permission to accept.
And my mom to accept.
And my mom to accept.
That I'm not in utero anymore.
That I'm not in utero anymore.
And it's a lot easier now.
And it's a lot easier now.
Things have changed.
Things have changed.
And gotten better.
And gotten better.
And we'll keep growing.
And we'll keep growing.
And changing.
And changing.
For the better.
For the better.
Because that's how God made us.
Because that's how God made us.
No matter how hard we protest.
No matter how hard we what?
Protest.
Protest. Gotcha. Don't fight me, Munchkin. It's for your own good.
Without this pattern, I am free.
Without this pattern, I am free.
And my mom is free.
And my mom is free.
To let our relationship be easy.
To let our relationship be easy.
And feel secure in that
and feel secure in that
because it hasn't always been.
because it hasn't always been.
But there's but it can be now.
It can be now.
Yeah. Without this pattern, I am free.
Without this pattern, I am free.
To love myself more.
To love myself more.
To be happier.
To be happier.
And to love my mom more.
And to love my mom more.
With everything we've gone through.
With everything we've gone through.
And how she has shown up for me.
And how she has shown up for me.
Yeah, I'm ready. Without this pattern, I am free.
Without this pattern, I am free.
To feel grateful.
To feel grateful.
When I can show up in my family.
When I can show up in my family.
And when my mom can show up for me.
When my mom can show up for me.
Yeah, I'm ready. Without this pattern, I am free.
Without this pattern, I am free.
To feel love, forgiveness, and happiness.
To feel love, forgiveness, and happiness.
Safe, secure, and complete.
Safe, secure, and complete.
Connecting in my family.
Connecting in my family.
Not worrying about being left out.
Not worrying about being left out.
Yeah. I give my, huh?
Now I see why you have the Qigong machine. I need one. I may have to call in and go, you know what? I'm white. I'm sorry.
Let's see here. There's a good one. I give myself permission.
I give myself permission.
To feel love, forgiveness, and happiness.
To feel love, forgiveness, and happiness.
Safe, secure, and complete.
Safe, secure, and complete.
Showing up in my family.
Showing up in my family.
And letting go of evening the score.
And letting go of evening the score.
Or making visitation fair.
Or making visitation fair.
Yeah, I'm free. Without this pattern, I am free.
Without this pattern, I am free.
To feel safe, secure, and complete.
To feel safe, secure, and complete.
Enjoying being in my family.
Enjoying being in my family.
With my mom.
With my mom.
And all of them.
And all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready. The idea being, you don't want to have to be worrying about being left out. So when you're in the situation with your family or with your mom, you can enjoy it. You don't have to feel like you have to fix anything or fix some awkwardness. You can just exist and just.
I can just be present.
Yes, exactly. Just be present and just connect as best you can, and that's the best you can do.
Right.
But I think she'll feel better too, your mom.
I hope so. I'm thinking my dad and my stepdad will also feel better.
Let's see where your distress is. So thinking about your mom, does it feel different? Does it feel better, the same?
It feels incredibly different. I feel lighter. I feel, aside from the fact that I wanted to throw up a couple times, I feel pretty good. I actually have CP, so my legs are weird, but I have sensation in my legs now that I didn't have when we started. I felt it coming to be, which is really, really, really weird, but I'll take it.
I'll take it too.
Because that means that the nerves are working and the blood's flowing and the oxygen is going, and maybe things will work better.
Oh, yeah, or feel at least a little bit better too.
Yeah.
So on my end, the stress went down from a 7 to a 4, but I think it's gonna keep going down for sure. Um,
I,
I also tested for like just elation on your relationship with your mom, and I think that's good because you want to feel good about it. And that went up to a 5, so that's pretty good. 5 out of 10.
okay.
And then stage of healing went from anger to light emerging. So that's good. That's beyond acceptance. We're more like things are moving, things are changing, and you know, new new life is about to happen. So
That sounds like a party to me.
I hope that your energy gets a little boosted up, but if you need to take a nap or something.
Well, I've been sick and I've had a sinus infection, so and I thought I was exposed to COVID, so I had to take the test. So there's been fear for a few days, and it's
So you don't have, I'm assuming you don't have it. You already got to negative,
I
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording. Thank you, Stephen,
Okay.
for
Thank
being
you.
on here.
Thank
I
you.
mean,
Now I wish I could afford to do this on a regular basis.
you know, though, it's always nice even just to get like a quick boost. You know, you get it, and you are grateful, and then you're like, I'll get it again some other time.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you have a good
Thank you. You too.